Absolutely, Ed. Hot and dusty out here, and maybe Essendon and the Brisbane Lions should be out just getting used to the drippolator out here, Ed, because they might need it before the night's out. Very, very calm and balmy conditions, Gaddy.
Umpires tonight, King Cunningham, Peter Cameron, Kevin Smith and Peter Carey. Dwayne, take us away.
Salmon and Keane in the ruck to start off the biggest week in football, the opening bounce, and again there's a bit of a tie-up. And we'll get a secondary bounce out in the middle, gentlemen. It's hard early.
Keeping a close eye on Brownless, who's lined up at full forward. His opponent is Chris Mew.
Another ball up. Keane and Salmon. We'll see that a bit this evening. Brad Hardy's dived in there. He's trying to shrug a tackle. Now the Macedonian Marvel's got it over the top. Salmon on the left foot. Haven't seen that for quite a while. Long launch inside 50. Up they fly. No one can bring the mark down. Aussie was there. Richard Osman, he couldn't bring it down. It's on the turf. It's absolutely pelting down rain. We'll get a free kick behind play, Edward.
Well, interesting, Chris Lewis got the free kick against Damien Monkhurst, so nothing has changed over the years as the All-Stars take it out to the defensive 50. Bluey McKenna, what a great player he's been over the years. Kicks it up to the centre wing position, but getting in front was Dermot Brereton. And we've seen as late as last week Dermot out coaching the Hawthorn side, Sam, and he's looking pretty good, the Dermot.
He is. He was down at training during the week while Hawthorn was still in the competition, looking resplendent with those chicken legs.
Roberts and Brereton combining there. Dermot going for a little bit too much. I think he thought Trent Crode was running onto that, not his Victorian teammate. And it's on already over there too, Dwayne. Have you picked out something behind play?
Yes, Peter German's already trying to tie someone up, and yeah, it's a bit willing out there early, Gary.
Well, Peter German, of course, was on the West Coast coaching staff. Might have been one of their players. He might get the short shrift.
Pretty boy Roberts kicked it inside 50, and there's another free kick, and it's big Barry Stoneham. It'll get the free kick about 50 from goal.
He's in good nick too, Batty Stoneham.
Yeah, he's shaved the mohair skivvy off. He hasn't got that sticking out the top of the jumper. Kicks inside 50. Again, BT was there. No one could take the mark early. Players flying through.
Strap yourself in there.
Oh, it's beautiful to watch at the moment. Richard Champion and the Fridge Roberts. The Fridge should like these cold conditions out there this evening.
There's Richard Champion on screen at the moment. The throw-in is in the forward pocket.
Back into play. And who'll get the first little takeaway possession here? Snap at goal off the right boot. It's across the face, though, and unfortunately
Gavin Brown.
We haven't been able to get a score from the boot of Gavin Brown. And Gavin's looking all right, Rowdy.
Yes, he'd be out with Mick Conlon, I would have thought, and Johnny Annear is probably the three that you'd most resemble a current-day player.
Scraped it through for a behind, though, which is good to see. They're on the board.
Richard Champion takes it out. We might have to tell the boys to kick it to this side. We're on the other side of the ground so we can see what's going on. Is Magic McLean. And what a week it's for the Brisbane Lions. Kicks it forward. Laurie Keane knocked it on. Picked up by Bomber Thompson, the former Essendon captain. Over the top to Brereton, who's racking up the possessions early. So too Mickey Roberts, who was best on ground for Channel 9 against Crown last week, so he's been in good form. Robert Scott on the left foot, kicks it forward. And here comes the Brownlow medalist, Johnny Platten, who was quite happy to see the ball go over the line and out of bounds for yet another throw in.
Very impressive early Brereton, playing loose across half-back without an opponent, Samuel.
Yes, he's following the trade of his brain.
Let's go down to Billy Brownlands. Billy, it's a bit lonely down there at full forward at the moment.
No, I'm very happy with it, Ed. The ball hasn't come near us, so I haven't had to show any speed or do anything yet. I'm happy with that.
Gee, pretty boy Roberts is getting a few touches earlier. Julia's about to just pop one up towards attacking 50. It's a high ball.
Might add that Robbo's 42 years of age.
And he's doing all right too. Brian Choco Royal in there, hands and knees. He threw that out. Johnny Platten.
That's interesting.
Beautiful mop of hair will get the free.
The average age, I think, is about the mid-30s for the whole of the two teams, so they're pretty fit.
Who told you that?
Well, you look through the list, Gaddy.
You worked that out yourself.
It goes, most of them are in the mid-30s, some less, and a couple higher, of course.
Terry Danaher there, one of the four famous Danaher brothers, just kicking the ball forward and slapped out of play. Mark Harvey's got a big week on his plate too.
How would he go? How would they go if he went down and Terry Danaher went down with a severe concussion?
All it'd mean is that Shootout have left people talking to him in his ear, I reckon. Tony Jones has got some news at ground level.
Yes. Thanks very much, Eddie. And, well, they must be a pretty confident lot, Victoria. Have a look at this bench over here. Dale Waitman, Dougie Hawkins, Paul Vanderhaar, Andrew Hughes and Paul Couch, all getting wet, all hoping that Brian Taylor will throw his jumper over and everyone can take cover.
Well, here's a chance for the All-Stars coming off the back of the pack. Gavin Krasiska knocks it forward. Platten can't pick it up. They dive in on top. Hardy trying to milk the free kick. Gets a push in the back from Peter Dean, but the umpire says he'll bounce. And Ken Cunningham will ball it up some 35 metres out from the All-Star goal. Billy Brownless, you ready? You could get in the action, Bill.
Yeah, I know, I'm close, Eddie, don't worry.
Get in there, son.
No, I can't, I'm a sheepdog.
Too high, free kick to the All-Stars. You heard it there from the umpire against Peter Dean. And Brad Hardy, who has dominated over the years these interstate games, a Simpson medalist, will line up for goal just 35 metres out directly in front.
Brownlow medalist, of course, in 1985 was Brad Hardy, a couple of Tassie medals.
Well, let's go down to Brad Hardy, who's lining up. Brad, tell us what's going through your mind now, pal. Brad Hardy, can you hear us?
He's in the zone, Ed.
Yeah.
As you can see, Peter Dean, in catching him high, actually pulled the earplug out of his ear. And he's lining up from 35 metres out.
Big kick this to get the opening goal on the ball, and he sprayed it, Bradley, as he put it wide. Or unfortunately, just couldn't quite. He's kicked it through. Well, unbelievable.
We've got the two goal umpires working down there, and fantastic effort there.
Brad Hardy scores first blood for the All-Stars, Sam, and, well, it was against the flow of play, I would have thought.
It was indeed, Gaddy, and he played 47 games for Footscray and 101 for the Brisbane Lions, or was it the Bears in those days? I think it was the Bears.
I reckon.
And what a solid forward line the Vics have.
Yes, indeed. So Brad Hardy gets the first goal against the run of play, but out of the centre. Lewis gets the first kick away for the All-Stars.
High ball, but David Rees-Jones doing well in defence.
He's banned from a lot of grounds, David Rees-Jones.
Is he allowed to be out there?
One of the few grounds that he's allowed on.
Luckily for him, Gavin Brown, rowdy, chip kick over the top. The Fridge Roberts, current runner for the Kangaroos, the Fridge. And dedicated lover as well is Mark Roberts. He flies up to Brisbane every second week to see his lovely lady. And he lives down here to do the running for North Melbourne. That's how dedicated he is. German, long kick to half forward with the numbers. Krasiska, what a disciplined punch from the Collingwood defender.
That's better now. We can see what's going on.
Waters, one of the original Dockers. Magic McLean now on the wing with a little chip kick, a little wide.
Look out, look out. Oh, Dermot lined him up.
I don't know if David Murphy really wanted to pick that up with Dermot coming, didn't he? Over the top. Danaher, little handball. It's a bit slippery out there for the boys.
There goes, matey.
Oh, look at that. Danaher, what deft deflection. Dermot, hands and knees. Hardy again. Sends the All-Stars into attack. Brownless over the top. Massive mark. The Brownless was backing back, but the fish, Salmon getting back in defence.
He didn't back very hard, Brownless, on that occasion. In fact, he dogged it.
Look at him. Looks like twins with one head.
The kick comes out to Brian Royal. By the way, Robertson, Brereton dominating with 4 possessions each. McKenna, Platten and Phoebe, 2 each for the All-Stars. Inside 50s, 4 to Victoria. Only, this will be the second, now the third for the All-Stars going in as Waters kicks it long. Loose. And look at that, Danaher has got away from his opponent. And will line up. It'll be a fair kick from here. He'll have to kick it 45 metres, but he's pretty much directly in front.
And who has picked up Terry Danaher, who started very well, Sammy?
Well, I think Harvey has, as a matter of fact, Gary. The two Essendon lads playing on one another as he comes in. And that's not going to make it.
Long drop punt. He sprayed that wide. I thought Hardy's was wide earlier, but it was called a goal. But that one definitely on the wrong side of the big upright.
Billy getting in amongst the action, mate.
Yeah, I've had too much. I'm stuffed.
You got a fair cheer squad down there, Will.
Yeah,
Does
they're all
that
my kids.
say something generally about your fitness, Billy? We're 7 minutes in and you're stuffed.
Yes, it does. Yeah?
He lost 6 kilo last week. He misplaced his wallet, Billy. He hasn't had a good start to the night either. Dermot's there. He's about to line someone up. He'll collect someone by the night's end, you would think. A little speedy right. Getting the ball for the All-Stars. Platten inside 50. He's looking good, the mine host at the Grange Hotel in Adelaide. Rees-Jones there, diving through. Ball stolen for the All-Stars. Matt Phoebe across the face of goal, though.
Well, I'd say the Vics would be pretty disappointed with this because they had most of the play early, and of course it's a very fast half back line in midfield, and when it gets up to the forward line they start to labour. Monkhorst, Taylor. Brian Taylor weighs as much as a small van.
From the throw in, the fish gets it out to the Fridge Roberts. Little left handball over the top was good play to Peter German. German in tail on to Gavin Brown, back to Roberts. So the Victorians starting to mount a bit of an attack going forward now. Pushing the back against Osborne. Play on, says the umpire. Now the ball spills out to Graham Wright. Right on centre wing, goes short to centre half forward, and Matthew Phoebe.
Started very well, went to the solarium, we believe, midweek just to get ready for the game. And that's how he used to kick to me, turned it over.
Dacos magic, it was beautiful to see as Scott kicks it out to centre wing. The mark's been taken by Osborne. Richard Osborne could have gone over the top and now does to Scott, who runs up towards forward 50, kicks it out in front of Damien Monkhorst. Big monkey flies, but it's punched The man Mountain from Warriellick puts his head over the ball, tries to knock it forward. They dive in on top. Mickey Roberts put his body on the line for the first time in 25 years. Off the back of the pack, it's Magic McLean.
Oh, they're working it out of defence. Waters for the All-Stars, Krasiska, aren't they combining beautifully? Little David Murphy, who's doing a bit of assistant coaching. The juniors up in Sydney at the moment. Johnny Platten lets it slip through his fingers. Well, that's unbelievable to see that. And turning it over, Peter Dean, the Carlton runner, to the fridge. Wide handball. Harvey getting plenty of possessions. Now the long bomb inside 50. Loose man on his own. Big red Barry Stoneham on 50.
Numbers everywhere, Dwayno. The Blues, the Vicks.
He can dob it from there. He goes for the big long launch to the goal square. Line grab two. What a mark. Monkey. Unbelievable. The monkey. Well, you would have thought that the monkey would be able to climb that high.
Well, he is playing weight of 104 kilos, Damien Monkhurst. I wouldn't think he's blown out too much.
No, he's looking in pretty nice, Nick. And champion Richard playing on him as the big man comes in now.
In comes Monkey from point-blank range. He kicked 45 goals in his career at Collingwood and St Kilda, and he still has 45 goals as he sprays it from less than 15 metres out. And that's what happens when you leave Collingwood and go to St Kilda.
Third in the Collingwood best and fairest, 1992, 93 and 94. Of course, a premiership player in 1990.
Richard Champion kicking in from fullback, the man who just had the monkey on his back, to Lewis. Long, midfield, big fly, and what a good piece of contesting by the Fish. Coughed the ball up, the Vicks have taken control, and the Fridge Roberts is getting a bit of it early. Chip kick's a little dangerous, and the All-Stars should take this away. Murphy with the crumb. I don't know how he found Lewis there, but he did. I don't think he was intended. Little chip kick, Laurie Keane. Big Loza. Heads long. Longmire on the lead. Dean's with him. Ball back of the pack. Jihadi and Reece Jones. What a battle that's been to watch. Handball to Waters. Good opportunity here, All-Stars. Handball towards Platten. They're jumping in. Dermott went in with a little boot. Ball slapped out. Once again, the Vicks might mop it up.
Rebound.
Salmon takes it away from defence.
Yeah, Salmon looking very good. Handballs over the top. And have a look. There's Victorians everywhere. Roberts, who's actually born in New South Wales, gets the ball and kicks inside, looking for the diving man there. And that was, in fact, the great man too, Dacos. Couldn't quite hit him. And now, once again, the All-Stars rebound. Let's go down to Tony Jones, who's with Sam Kekovich. Tony.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. Kecker worrying signs here midway through the first quarter. Still no change.
No, well, we realised that we went in with an orthodox structure up forward, a bit top-heavy, but we're still going to let the quarter run out. Some of our matchups still haven't quite worked out.
Back to you, Ed.
Waters, a long launch to the goal square. Mark taken. Goal kick by Matthew Phoebe.
Welcome back, and the All-Stars get their second on the board against the run of play, but it's 2-1-13 to 2 points. The All-Stars by 11 points.
Waters has been doing well in there, and he set that one up beautifully. Now, there might be a free kick picked out.
Just on Matthew Phoebe, his brother Stephen, if he plays on next year with Melbourne, may become the game's record holder there.
Let's go down to Tony Jones. There's been a big change as Brian Taylor's comes off. We didn't know he was on, Tony.
Yeah, certainly. BT, what happened, mate? Dragged midway through the first quarter. He just couldn't get a touch.
A bit of Matthew Richardson about that. I was in the right spot. I presented. I ran hard.
Same body language.
Back to you, Ed.
Same body language, Barge.
Dermott would be really dirty on that. He took a mark and no one saw it. He kicks to the outer side. Mew and Platten. Platten doing well against Brown there. German. Bit of crumbing. Kicks around the body towards half forward. The Vicks need a score here. The All-Stars are getting plenty of players back. Picking it up with a little kick forward once again, Michael Roberts. Pretty boy's doing well early. Champion, beautiful pickup. Handball wide to Lewis, and the All-Stars are in control.
Chris Lewis switches play and finds his teammate there in Phoebe. Matthew Phoebe, the former Tasmanian, with his 6th possession. Only behind Mark Roberts for possession so far. 7 for Mark Roberts for Victoria. Dermott has 6. Murphy, McLean with 5 each, and as I said, Phoebe with 6 at the moment. It's Victoria inside 50, 8 to the All-Stars 7, but it's the All-Stars leading, as you can see, 13-2 with the kick forward, and Terry Danaher dominating at centre-half forward. Quickly swings onto the right boot, kicks it forward, looking for Platten. Here comes Billy! Here comes Big Bill! Oh, surely in danger! No, Chris Mew goes off the deck. Here's Bomber Thompson on the left boot, brings it out to the John Elliott stand side of Optus Oval. The mark is taken out there by Brett Allison. No, it's not. It's Brian Royal, in fact. Royal goes short, and the mark's been taken by the Fridge. Mark Roberts is playing great football. He goes long to an empty square. Which way will it bounce? Bounce, bounce, bounce. But it's caught on the line by Richard Champion.
Champion by name and nature there. What a beautiful piece of work getting back doing the disciplined things in defence. Danaher, that's Chris, of course, combining with Terry earlier on in the night. It's been cut off by German. Good opportunity here for the Vicks. Buse, and he spots pretty boy Roberts, has he had a man this evening at all?
I don't think he takes it seriously enough, Robbo. Sammy, is this one of the most important things in his life, this game tonight?
I think it probably is, Gary, when you lead such an insecure and insignificant life as Michael. This would be it.
Roberts, long launch at goal. We'll wait on it. I think he may have just slipped it wide, only behind.
Boys, you notice how we're using the 2-goal umpire system, and it's been very effective so far.
Sam, one of your hobby horses?
Yeah, 2-goal umpires.
Well, the umpires in general.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know if it's been very effective, but it's certainly novel.
Champion brings the ball out to defensive 50 with a beautiful kick to Guy McKenna. Switching play inside. The mark's been taken by Gavin Krasiska, now the assistant coach at the Kangaroos. Transfers it back to Richard Champion, and, well, some of the modern-day tactics now being applied by the coaches. And they do enough of it at training.
Bit of water out there, Edward.
Chris Lewis. Beautiful skills. Chips the ball over the top. The mark taken by Chris Danaher.
Thank you, John.
There's Chris, one of the 38 Danaher brothers.
Danaher goes
7
forward.
of them playing tonight.
Longmire was there. It's Scott for Victoria, though. Robert Scott, the former Geelong and Kangaroos player, chips it over to Damien Monkhurst, who's still playing for Warrigalloch. Actually got an infection this year in his head, Damien Monkhurst. When he fell and cut himself, and unfortunately that week the ground had been top dressed with phosphate, and he had elephantitis. His head swelled up to...
You're making this up.
It's ridiculous. 2.5 times its normal size, and he was rushed to hospital at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I reckon Billy Brownless has fallen in a dung heap then.
It's absolute gospel, and poor old Damien had to get the antibiotics. And,
I'm seriously concerned about Bill Brownless.
The worst thing...
There he goes, Bill's on the move.
The worst thing, of course, was for Damien was nobody noticed. The ball comes out, and I think Billy Brownless...
Bill can't run without chafing his legs.
Warwick Capper is going at the Billy. Billy,
here he goes.
This is your last chance, Bill.
No, he just can't do it.
Brereton across the front. Give me one, Bill. You're about to be dragged.
Oh.
Billy, we're sticking with you. Watch out, Capper's looking after you here.
He's gay, feeding him.
He is too. Look at him.
Johnny's on.
Mark Harvey with a short one to Stoneham. He's working the whole field at the moment, Barry Stoneham. So is Michael Roberts. Where is he playing at the
This is the
moment?
problem, Dwayne. We've only got one forward, the Victorian side at the moment.
And I'll tell you the other problem is that Billy has to run 50 metres to get off the ground, which is the most he's run in the last 7 years.
The Geelong coach there, Mark Bomber Thompson, just showing his boys what work rate is. Long launch. Big lead. What a great mark, Peter Dean.
Well, he gave a free kick away here as a Carlton runner this year, so back playing again, doing what he knows best.
So he's not even playing, but he got a stat this year as the runner.
Indeed. It's a fair grab, that.
That's a great grab, Peter Dean.
Over the top of Johnny Gastev.
So they've got
2 feet off the ground.
Good chance here if they can just work it out with Andrew Buse with the ball. Busey, the Williamstown coach, kicks it inside 50, and it's another good grab to Richard Osborne.
Oh, it's on behind play too, boys. On the half-forward flank.
Billy's fallen on someone.
Billy on the way off the ground has body slammed Peter Dean coming off. And Deaney's not happy. He's got a wedgie there, Deaney, and that's...
What happened, Bill?
Bill, what was going on there?
Peter Dean grabbed me on the neck.
Now, in the meantime, the shot at goal from Richard Osborne is long, long, long. Goal!
Well, he has
that is
been a
amazing.
super player, Richard Osborne, and that was his great strength, was his kicking, Sammy, during his illustrious career, which spanned some 187 games with Fitzroy and quite a few assists.
He went over and tried out as a kicker in the NFL over in the States as a gridiron kicker, didn't
He did indeed. He was a pioneer in that field.
It's enchanting the way he moves, Gary.
A great goal by Richard Osborne. Let's go down to Mark Bickley, who's with Billy Brownless, and it looks like Peter Dean has racked up a hard ball get tonight.
Yeah, got Billy down there. We got Mal here. Why'd you bring him off, Mal?
Oh, look, this is the longest he's played, and we're trying to be fair to him, and we're encouraging him, but we just felt we want more out of him in the next quarter.
Just played it safe. Give him 5 minutes to get off as well. The siren's about to blow. I think. But Bill, what's the story?
If they don't kick to me, they're not going to win. They know that.
So the Vicks get their first goal on the board as Roberts gets it out. The Vicks on the move now, as Jeff Kennett used to say. As the ball goes forward from Peter German, has been marked there by Mark Roberts at centre-half forward.
Kick after the siren.
On the siren, he's going to let one go. He's got onto the big torpedo. It's into the goal square, and it's marked by Champion. It's quarter time at Optus Oval in the EJ Whitten Legends match. Victoria 1-3-9, the All-Stars 2-1-13. The goal kickers so far. For Victoria, it's 1 to Richard Osborne. For the All-Stars, 1 to Brad Hardy, 1 to Matthew Phoebe. We'll be back with more on Nine's Widewater Sports right after this. Welcome back to Optus Oval. Quarter time, Victoria 1-3-9, trailing the All-Stars. Let's go down to 2-1-13. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. Well, an interesting quarter-time huddle for the Vicks. Sam Kekovich reluctant to make any changes. He's called on more from his little blokes. What about the All-Stars, Vicks?
Yeah, Mel Brown, very relaxed coaching style. Very happy with defence especially, and a little bit unhappy with the way players just brought themselves off late in the quarter. He's wants them to stay out there and work a bit harder.
Back to you, Ed.
Dacos!
Had it for a while, the Macedonian Marvel. Couldn't do much with it. Through traffic, Royal. Stoneham getting a lot of the ball early. Just flicks it over the top. Chance for Gavin Brown. High to the pocket. Opportunity here for the Vicks, but unable to get there. Robert Scott was infringed.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Peter Dacos, now known as the Bosnian-Herzegovian Marvel, due to the joining of the two nations. Hasn't got the same ring to it, Gary, has it?
Just doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Bosnian-Herzegovian Marvel.
Be careful, Sam.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah. Not sure
Robert
who
Scott, we're offending at the moment.
Very good Victorian player.
Let's get them all, Ed,
well.
so no one can accuse us.
Robbie Scott with a shot at goal. Not bad off the boot.
They like it.
That's not bad at all.
They
That's
like it a lot.
champagne football.
Well, there we are.
Robert Scott. There are a few of the modern-day players involved in that passage.
And he's starting off in the centre. He starts with Salmon, Royal and Brown. The quartet playing for Victoria out of the centre, Gaddy.
What about the fearsome Red Devils?
Yes,
Their
Micken
quartet.
started for them in the ruck. I think he replaced Laurie Keane and Lewis, Platten and Waters.
So the Victorians hit the front for the first time since the opening minutes of the game. They're 2-3-15 against the All-Stars, 2-1-13 with that beautiful goal from Robert Scott from the forward pocket.
The big fish, Paul Salmon, there on your screen, about to do the ruck work against Laurie Keane in the middle. And the ball tossed in the air to restart play. The Vicks in front after that magnificent goal by Robbie Scott. It's a bit slippery out there, and little rat Johnny Platten tried to rake the ball out. Waters there. Rowdy Gavin Brown on hands and knees. Micken and Salmon, and over the top, Mark Roberts, who's one of the majority of the possession getters out of the middle so far tonight. Couldn't get a kick away there. Platten does. High to half forward. Longmire couldn't grab it. Reece Jones does to Harvey.
Great
Little
work.
chip kick, and again Gavin Brown's got it.
He's
Gavin
been
Brown.
pretty good as well.
He's been sensational out there tonight, Gavin Brown. Gets to have over to German. Back to Harvey. Peter German, the boy from Oak Park, goes short with a kick. That was short. It's unbelievable how short that was. As Salmon on the turn, kicks it up towards centre-half forward. Stoneham's there. Quick little left-foot kick around the body was a good one. Champion's got a bit of dash. He gets through, but he overran the ball. Now it's Buse, the little rat from Geelong, gets the handball over the top, formerly of the Brisbane Bears as well, to Osborne, who'll have a big shot. Now he goes short. Beautiful little pass there. And the mark has been taken for Victoria by Peter German, who will line up from about 45 metres out. As you can see, the angle, the camera shot right over his shoulder here. Gary Lyon, I think he'd be a good chance here.
A very skillful player. Great kick for goal on the run.
So German comes in from 2 steps. He's sprayed it, though. Won't quite make the distance. A beautiful mark right on the goal line. I think it's the fish who's got it. No, Big Monkey's got back. Well, Monkey, we saw earlier, miss from point-blank range.
Monkey, straight back.
Will he play on and run around, Sam?
And one of the things the competition has to address, that pass from Osborne to German went about 8 metres.
So Monkey from less than 5 metres out, as you can see at the tight angle. Comes in, runs round, kicks the banana. I think he's put it across the face of goal, and it's through for another minor score for the Victorians. So the Vicks move on to 2 goals for 16. The All-Stars 2-1-13. We've been playing just over 3.5 minutes in the second term on the EJ Whitten Legends All-Star game.
That great cave dweller smile on the monkey there. Just couldn't quite thread it through. Long
Robbo.
kick out from fullback. Did Robbo touch that?
I think it was possibly wind, Dwayne.
Robbo, did he touch that? Or did he get a free? Gee, he nearly got a
Fullback.
fingernail on it. And
No, the fullback
cost
kicked
himself
it.
a free. Did he?
He went back very strongly, Robbo.
He did, didn't he? Push back hard. Knew the traffic was coming. Monkey up high, just outside the goal square. Couldn't bring the ball down. He's over the ball, and there could be another one picked out here.
No,
It's
well,
not,
look,
it'll be bounced. Bluey
a
McKenna just getting off
very
hands and
ugly
knees.
flood
Rowdy
there.
Brown.
Very ugly flood.
Brad Hardy's been playing some good football for the All-Stars. Brad, what's it like out there?
Yeah, a little bit chilly, boys, but enjoying it so far. The Vicks look like they're getting a bit of a run on here, but hang on, it could be a rebound.
Dermot over the ball, trying to go. Oh, that was a bit harsh by Mark Harvey. Well, he's
The two assistant coaches from Essendon getting stuck into each other there. So obviously, Halves has decided to get rid of all opposition for the next Essendon coaching appointment.
Gee, amazing that would be if Sheeds had to coach on his own without Harvey and TD in the box with him.
I don't think you'd notice.
Fruity Allison from half-back kicks it way out in front of Chris Danaher, who lost interest pretty early in that chase, and will have a throw-in on centre wing on the John Elliott side of the ground. The Victorians have kicked the last 2 goals of the game to lead 16-13. As far as the individual stats are concerned for Victoria, German 10, Mickey Roberts 10, Mark Roberts 9 and Dermot 6. For the All-Stars, Lewis 7, Phoebe 6, Krasiska and Platten 5 apiece.
Waters to Platten, but Peter Dean cut it off at half-back, and he's doing well back there. Gave a little one over the top to Mark Roberts, who gets and Michael Roberts gets another stat to the big fish. What a beautiful 35-metre pass in Stoneham's direction, cutting it off. Krasiska to an ear. Magic McLean on the wing. Elliott stands side, hooks it up to half forward, and a good mark's been taken once again by Terry Danaher.
Good battle between Danaher and Brereton across half forward.
Danaher wide to Hardy, and he's got it in the pocket. Bradley Hardy, the last man to have a crack at Shane Strimple.
All right, Brad, take us through the kick. Brad, you're lining up from about 50 as we can see on the screen.
Well, Eddie, I can tell you the roost is pretty strong, right to left, so I'm going to send it out right towards the right-hand goal post, right-hand point post.
You're definitely going to have a shot though, Brad.
And pray.
I'd go
You know,
left-hand goal
anywhere
post.
inside 75 with a handball, have a short pass.
In comes Brad Hardy. Comes in. You told him he's going to start it right. It'll go left. He's given it a good hoof to the goal square. Won't quite make the distance. Off hands. It's picked up by Reece Jones. David Reece Jones, who, of course, has been rubbed out. Good on you, Reece. Welcome back to football, mate. You're not supposed to be playing for a year. How you going, Reece?
Yeah, good, mate, good.
Nice to get a kick out there in front of the Robert Heatley stand
You've
again.
got to run around to keep warm.
And I've been practicing with David for the players' review. His dancing is about as good as his football at the minute. It is shocking.
The monkey's doing okay in this game. He heads it long towards Hughes, up at half forward. Couldn't bring the mark down, the Williamstown coach. How do you do with your Collingwood reserves this year?
He was fantastic, Busey. There is some talk he might end up at Geelong as an assistant coach, though.
Next year?
Next year.
Is that certain?
No, I don't know about that at all, but that's the mail in football
that
at
was
the
the
moment.
mail.
Rat Platten to Krasiska, to Anir, Johnny Anir on the wing. Left foot drop punt, a short one. And once again, Allison getting a bit of the ball.
And the All-Stars starting to work the ball beautifully. There's another great kick, I think, to Mark Micken, is it?
It is. Mark Micken, play-on's a call. Robbo applies a tackle. Get that on his show reel because he didn't when he was at St Kilda. As the ball's at forward 50 again for the All-Stars. It comes out to Bomber Thompson, tries to break the tackle. Over to Dacos. Dacos has got the ball again. He goes out wide, out towards the wing position, and picked up by Brereton. Rides the tackle just like the 89 grand final. Goes up towards centre half forward. Off the hands of the pack, Peter Dean goes up the ground, but he missed it altogether. Confused everybody. Then got it back over the top to Harvey. Harvey out wide. Here's a chance for the Vicks. As Scott has another shot at the goal, and he's missed from point blank range. Let's go down to Mark Bickley. He's down there with the brains trust of the All-Stars, Warwick Kappa.
Thanks, Eddie. Warwick,
I'll give you brains trust, Eddie. Is that house of yours been built yet?
Mate, I'll tell you what, if I get those rubber gloves, you'll know all about it.
No glove, no love. You know what I mean?
Now, Eddie, have you been changing your messages, Warwick, on the way out or not?
Yes, very precisely, and things are going beautiful at the moment.
Chip kick to Hughes over the top. Chance here if Roberts can put this through from 45. He goes for the top and a square, and dropping back Mark Micken. The big
covering some
ex-ruckman with the
ground.
Crows. He is.
Yep.
One of the assistants of the Crows still. Mark Micken heads it wide, waiting under it. Brett Allison inside 50s at the moment. All-Stars 19, the Vicks 13, so The All-Stars are getting it inside there plenty of times. And now it's the Geelong coach, Bomber Thompson. Chips it to Brian Royal, another wannabe coach, wants to get a senior job in the AFL. Chips it to Mark Harvey. They all want to be coaches. Mark Harvey's lining up for one as well. Just too far out to score. Puts it up long to the goal square. All-Stars getting players back again. And Richard Champion, who's dominating back there with a fist, thumps it through. Victoria 2-6-18. The All-Stars 2-1-13.
Let's go down to Tony Jones. He's down there with David Rees-Jones.
Yes, thanks, Eddie. No relation, I can tell you, but an interesting move. You cleared the ball beautifully out of defence and was rewarded by being dragged.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Sam's good at that. I mean, you know, no one takes any notice of him anyway.
And breaking news too, Eddie, I can tell you that a team of legal experts actually cleared the way for Rees to play tonight.
We had the legal dream team on the case this morning, the Supreme Court, just to play tonight.
There's the lungs,
Rees. Good. There you go, Ed.
All right, David Rees-Jones with Tony Jones from National 9 News. The free kick, I think, going against the Victorians there. It'll go to McLean at half-back flank for the All-Stars. Victoria 18-13. It's another close one. The last 3 games decided by 2 points, 2 points and a draw. Into the centre of the ground go the All-Stars. They have not scored since the 12.5-minute mark, a goal that is, in the first term. And we're currently coming up to the 10-minute mark of the second term. All quarters going for 20 minutes, no time on. Ball now out wide. Beautiful mark there by Brett Allison for the All-Stars.
The former Kangaroos together there, Mark Roberts and Brett Allison. Just a little bit of carry on. Mark Roberts has been preparing very well for this game, as I can tell you.
Freak just dropped the knee in there nicely too. It was discreet though. Umpires didn't see it. Bomber Thompson over the top to Robert Scott. Gets caught. It's almost ball. It is ball.
Fair chase for Matthew Feedy is first.
Free kick paid by Peter Cameron. Peter, it's been played in a pretty good spirit out there.
You wouldn't believe there's a few nasties out here tonight. I think there's about a few square-ups from 10 years ago.
Yeah, who's been the worst offender?
Mate, there's a bloke, number 44 on the blue, who's a bit fair income.
Richard Osborne.
Oh.
Jeez, I tell you what, Aussie, he must have had to look long and hard to see who owes him one.
Mate, he's only got about 3 on his list. He's got 2, 1 to come.
We'll keep an eye on Osborne as over the top goes Fruity Allison, the mark taken by Phoebe. So Matthew Phoebe kicks it into the forward line now for the All-Stars. Getting across there was Johnny Gastiff off the hands of the pack, Bomber Thompson.
Playing well, Bomber
Looking
Thompson.
beautiful too as he kicks it out to the big Monk. Monkey couldn't hold the mark at the fall of the ball. Roberts was fantastic. Wasn't quite anticipating the slowness there of Barry Stoner on that occasion. And off the ground goes Mark Harvey. He's got that murderous intent still, Mark Harvey, hasn't he?
He has. Now, here's something to digest. Tell me the game's not umpired better with 2 men doing it.
We haven't had 18 free kicks in the first quarter like we did on the weekend at least.
No possible reason why you'd have 3 umpires. These 2 guys are doing it very well. KG Cunningham and Peter Cameron.
And interesting to see...
and they're as slow as the players, so in relative terms, it is no different from the main game.
Free kicks are 7 of the All-Stars, 6 of the Victorians. Interesting today that Darren Goldsmith, who was the officiating umpire at quarter time, has been named as an emergency. And a lot thought that he might have got the game, so it might have gone against him.
He officiated in that game, of course, at the MCG on Saturday.
Didn't he over-officiate in that game?
I'm sure it went against him.
All right, back to the action. Let's go to Tony Jones. Dermot Brereton, one of the best for Victoria, having a spell.
Yes, and Dermot's with me now. How are you going out there, Derm?
Oh, not too bad. It's a bit of a run around, but I picked the worst bloke, Terry Danaher. He will not stop running.
Well, that's all right. You're going all right at the moment, so have a rest and I'll come back to you. Good on you, Derm.
7 possessions for Dermot as he gets himself ready to come back on in the second half. His old mate from his Sydney Swans day, Scott Waters, over from the West, and he and Dermot have been getting out and...
I was just going to say, it's been a Herculean performance by Dermot. He's come straight from the dome to be here tonight.
Throw in as Monkhurst gets the tap. Lewis off the ground, close to the boundary line. Peter Dean has been fantastic for Victoria. Flicks it out to Brian Royal. Right on defensive 50, as you can see. Kicks it inside, puts Bomber Thompson under the hammer. A good shepherd came through there from Paul Couch as Thompson on the left boot. Kicks out wide, which is interesting because Couchy's been quite critical of the Geelong coach during the year and maybe trying to square up with a bit of a shepherd there.
He's been in very good form, Mark Thompson. I've been very impressed.
It's not an ex-Geelong player being critical of the club, was it?
Exactly,
Sam. How disgraceful. What is wrong with those people?
Throw-ins at half forward. Let's go down. Peter Dacos was magnificent off the ground, but let's go down now to Mark Bickley.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. I've got Billy Brownless, who's preparing to come back on. He's just doing a few warm-up stretches. Billy, a bit tight, mate.
Yeah, a bit tight, mate. I just can't touch the toes, unfortunately.
You're a fair way off. Back at the full 40, looking for a couple of goals for half-time.
Yeah, I might come on that a bit, I think.
Can't touch his toes.
Thanks, mate.
Hasn't seen his toes for about 8 years. TD inside 50. There are a chance here, the All-Stars, if they can just get a ball inside their attacking goal square, they might be able to line one up. Magic McLean around the body, but dropping back. Dropped the mark. Platten over the top of Rowdy. He dropped that one, but it might get a free kick.
I was all over him. What are you talking about?
A little fortunate. There is Gavin.
Get off him, Platten.
The wide ball. Hello. Chance here for Van der Haar. Couldn't quite trap it. Magic McLean, who's about to take up a coaching position at Nightcliff in the Northern Territory AFL.
Major change coming up for Victoria. Tony Jones, it looks like the great man Dougie Hawkins ready to come on.
Yeah, it'll probably take a quarter to get those tracky pants off, but he'll eventually get on. But changes galore down here. The flea on, views off.
Yeah, he's bought the tracksuit pants that don't have the zip that you can undo him up to the calf. He's trying to slide them over 2 ton of stops.
I think they were railing his wife's.
Oh, I hope he asked permission, or it could be on again.
Ball back into play, by the way. In the meantime, high bomb, and a good mark's been taken by Gavin Krasiska on 50. Can he dob it from there?
No, they say it was sensational. The neighbours, they came out to the garden to watch.
He just won't leave it alone.
Krasiska
to the goal square, up they fly. Off hands, might be mopped up. It is mopped up in defence by big Roger Merritt, a pass of about 3 metres.
Bloke backed his ute up and put the tailgate down, and they were standing 6 deep in it.
Roberts has got the ball. He gets it over to Harvey. Running through the centre of Optus Oval. Harvey on the right boot. Thumps it beautifully straight down the throat of his teammate out there, and Peter German. German's waving his hand, said, run on the bush. I said, you're kidding, we've already run 30 metres, that's all we've got. Lurking into the goal square, goes short.
The fish. That almost resembled a very good passage of play. Mark Harvey has been superb across half-back, balked a player, kicked a 50-metre pass into space.
Now, Paul Salmon's been very good as well. I'll just tell you what Paul Salmon has done in his career. I'll just find his name on my sheet here. You chat on while I find it.
He's had 7 touches tonight, and this is an important kick.
He's kicked 550 goals in his career, 209 games for Essendon, and 100 for Hawthorn.
This is a very important kick because we need to get an ad break in. In comes Salmon. It goes, it goes, it goes! And the Fishers put it through, you beauty! And Victoria get their 3rd goal on the board.
Vic's out to an 11-point margin. Some danger signs now for the All-Stars. They need to fight back close to half-time. Any moves that you would spot, Gary?
Roger Merritt, I think, has wandered on for the for the Vics, rather, playing at centre-half forward. So a little bit of vigour out there for the Vicks. Samuel?
Yes, and he and an ex-teammate of his, Paul Salmon, has been very good as well tonight.
The flea about to take the possession in the middle of the ground. Spots the... Who's that with the ball there, Eddie?
Dacos!
Long kick towards half forward.
Lead harder. The ball was lace up for you. Hack in the pocket.
Hey, that's an ex-Collingwood player you're having a go at there.
Yeah, I played more at Fitzroy than Collingwood.
Major possession winners, Mickey Roberts 13, Mark Roberts 12, German 11, Harvey 10, and for the All-Stars, Lewis 11, McLean 11, Krasiska 8, and Matt Phoebe 8.
Trying to make Dakes look bad as out comes Chris Lewis, gets the kick out wide, picked there by Matthew Phoebe. Nice handballs inside to Graham Wright. What a good player he was too. Oh, there's a little bit off the ball there. Peter German let one rip. I tell you what, they're getting a bit willing out there at the moment here for the Victorian and the All-Stars. We're at forward 50. For the All-Stars, Hardy over the top of the ball. German has gone very hard there. Over the top he goes. Harvey's been fantastic. He kicks for the boundary line, finds touch, and will have a throw in.
Finds himself on Terry Danaher. Now does Mark Harvey. Dale Waitman out on the ground. Also Simon Atkins. So swinging the changes, the respective coaches.
Dougie Hawkins has broken the shackles of his tracksuit. He's with Tony Jones.
Dougie, you're about to go on. Sam, any last-minute instruction?
Creativity, be ubiquitous. Come on, you can give us something in the last minute.
What's ubiquitous?
He had him for breakfast this morning, I think.
Unbelievable. Now the high bomb inside 50, that's a big fly. Danaher couldn't quite bring the mark down, though. Down there was Atkins to Platten. Danger here for the Vicks. To Longmire. The horse is a long launch of the ball towards goal, and I might have put it through. The horse has dobbed it. The All-Stars are back in town.
Yes, good goal by John Longmire, and not unfamiliar with kicking a goal either, Sammy.
Well, they call him the horse because of his length, don't they? Because he can launch a long kick goal.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's why they call him the horse. And, of course, Johnny Longmire, he had a sensation.
Can you find him?
He kicked 511 career goals, 200 games neat
Kicked
for North
14
Melbourne.
against Melbourne.
And I
one
can
day.
tell you why they were able to get that goal, the All-Stars, because Sam Kekovich, for some reason, has taken off Peter Dacos, Tony Jones.
Amazing stuff down here. You know you're travelling well when you get dragged for Dougie.
Yeah, real good. I just hope I get back out there, Tone.
Yeah, how you going anyway?
I was hailing for a cab. They thought I was just wanting to change down the ground.
Well, I can't believe it in the commentary box. Eddie's about to jump out of it. Is that angry?
Oh, we might remedy it at half-time, Ed.
Good on you, Dakes. Get back out there, son. Do it for the Guernsey.
Here they
As
go
they
again.
go forward, Phoebe. And I tell you what, with less than a minute to go in this quarter, Terry Danaher has taken the mark.
Well, Terry Danaher was being picked up by Dermot Brereton, but Dermot's gone for rest, of course, and Mark Harvey's playing on him, Gaddy.
This will be a huge psychological blow for the Victorian side should the All-Stars kick this on the half-time siren.
Terry Danaher comes in, 8 possessions, 6 marks. He's kicked the point right on the half-time score here. He comes in, look at that, the kick is on its way, but just deflected right on the siren through for a point. So the Victorians will go in front by 4 points at half-time. Victoria 3-6-24, the All-Stars 3-2-20. The goal kickers to half-time for Victoria, 1 each to Robert Scott, to Paul Salmon and Richard Osmond. For the All-Stars, 1 each to Brad Hardy, Matthew Phoebe and John Longmire. And as you can see down there, Tony Jones with Sam Kekovich. And we've really got a game on our hands here, Tony.
Who? We'll go in the room.
All right, go in the rooms there, Tony. No worries at all, mate.
Working beautifully, Tone.
Tony Jones, as you can see, Dermot Brereton just making sure the hair's right at half-time.
They want to win here, there's no doubt. I know we're having a little bit of humour, but both sides want to win. It'll get fair dinkum in the third and fourth.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, and let's not be patronising to the sides. They're actually playing some pretty comfortable football and very skillful in these conditions, which don't look that bad on the screen, but I tell you here, it's very, very damp.
It is indeed. Great football, great atmosphere, wonderful crowd, and a tremendous cause. The EJ Whitten Foundation. Sam's going to have a drink. We're going to take a break. At half-time, Victoria lead the All-Stars by 4 points, 3-6-24 to 3-2-20. We'll be back right after this with more in-depth thoughts from Sam Newman and the great Gary Lyon. This is Nine's Wide World of Sports. Welcome back, and as you can see, at quarter time, the All-Stars led by 4 points. At half-time, it's Victoria leading by 4 points. Last year it was a draw. The 2 previous years it was a 2-point margin. So we're in for another thrilling second half here in the EJ Whitten Legends game. And Dwayne Russell, it's been a fantastic game. Good to speak to you as Gary Lyon and Sam Newman eat their collective body weight in scones and cream over the back there. It has been a good game so far.
Fantastic, yes, just as Gary Lyon and Sam are doing now, just sipping a little red. A few of the boys, like David Rees-Jones and maybe Van der Haar will be in there now. They'll have maybe a VB and a Viscount, and they'll be ready to fire up in the second half.
All right, let's have a look at some of the highlights of the first half. And there were plenty too, considering it was pretty wet when we started this game. And Brad Hardy got the first goal on the board at the 5-minute mark to put the All-Stars 5 points in front. It just made the distance, but Brad, well, he certainly knows where the goals are.
Yes, Matthew Phoebe's been fantastic tonight too. Bradley putting that one through, but he got on the end of a Matthew Phoebe. Good piece of work. Waters has been getting a bit of it for the All-Stars, but he sent this one to the goal square. Matt Phoebe was lurking and he just popped it through from the line, and that was a great bit of work. Just Billy Brownless was the man who created space on that occasion.
He got out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this one, Peter Dean. Something for the old Carlton faithful here at Optus Oval. Beautiful jump and mark over the top of Johnny Gastev. And we saw that over many years at Carlton, the great Peter Dean. Richard Osmond took a nice mark there, pushed his old teammate Mickey Conlon right in the face, gave him the don't argue. And then the one-time aspirant of being an NFL kicker, or a punter, went back and put it through from 45 metres out on the angle. Talk about angles. Look at this from Robert Scott, an old teammate of yours.
Yes, from the Cats, and he had to go to the Kangaroos to go in a premiership side, but he slotted that through from the pocket, and he's kicked a many a goal from the pocket, and it was great to see little Robbie putting that one through.
Yeah, that was the first goal of the second term, which put the Victorians in front for the first time since the opening minutes. Here's another long goal here from the Fish, Paul Salmon, of course, a fantastic player at Essendon and later on at Hawthorn over his last 5 years. Puts the goal right through the middle, and the Victorians were getting well on top. The last goal of the half coming up to John Longmire to bring the All-Stars back into it.
Yes, they call him the horse, and he certainly can have a kick like a mule, and he put that one through from about 45 to 50 metres out. And John Longmire, what a player he was for the Kangaroos, and what a way for him to go out playing in a premiership, a grand final premiership, with his last game for the Roos.
These days, a player manager with International Management Group, and he'll be telling all his clients tomorrow about his magnificent goal. Be 85 metres out by the time he talks to them tomorrow. Here's the stats. The kicks for Victoria, 91 to 85, marks are 49 to 50, so possessions 133 to 122, handballs 42 to 37, pretty close there. The frees are pretty good each, 8 free kicks there, and inside 50, 21 to 18. And Dwayne, you've got a few of the individuals.
Yeah, the Roberts boys have been combining well. Mickey with 14 possessions, Mark with 12. German has had 12 possessions for the Vicks. Harvey 10, Royal 9, Thompson 8, and for the All-Stars, Lewis an even dozen, as Magic McLean's had as well. So it's a fairly even contest. We're going to see a good second half.
And one player who has been playing magnificent football, he hopes to be in the part of the brains trust for the Bombers on Saturday, of course, is Terry Danaher. 8 possessions. He's had a ding-dong battle, as Lou used to say, up against his old foe in Dermot Brereton, and he's with Mark Bickley.
Thanks, Eddie. I've got Terry here, and you're just discussing some tactics with the coach. Make any moves in the second half, you think?
Yeah, we certainly are, mate. We just got to keep rotating those players on and off the bench to keep a bit of fresh legs out there. That's what you blokes do, don't you?
We try and do that. You know all about it, don't you?
No, it's been good. Good first half. We're pretty happy with the way things went, and but I think the pace just starting to quicken up a little bit. I think the competitive spirit's starting to come out in the boys, and I think we're in for a pretty interesting second half, I'd say. I've copped a nice little one on the lip already. I've got a couple of blokes. I've got one bloke I've got signalled out to have a crack at in this second half. So
we'll look forward to that then.
No, it's been good. What are we? A goal down? So
yeah, a couple of goals.
We got the aid of about a 3-goal breeze out there. So we've got to do something this quarter, Mark, to kick away. So we can't have these Vic fellas knock us off.
Exactly, and we'll go back to you, Eddie.
Well, Bix, just before we go back, can you ask Terry who, in fact, he's got lined up? I want to just keep an eye on this one in the third quarter.
Eddie wants to know who whacked on the lip and who you're going to get.
Hey, no, it's a secret. You don't let it out. I don't want to let the people know. If I can catch him, which I doubt it very much, you'll find out who it is.
Okay, probably sounds like a little bloke there, Eddie.
All right then, and it's a bit of a fat lip he's got there, Terry, as well. Okay, let's go down to Tony Jones, and Tony's with Barry Stoneham and also EJ Whitten, and well, not EJ Whitten, Ted Whitten Jr. of course. Wish he was with EJ Whitten, of course. Tonight, I'm sure he's looking down on us all.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, Eddie. Welcome to the Victorian Rooms, by the way. Sam Kekovich now just going through his half-time address, making a few changes. I hope we're on delay, that's all I can say. Yes, Ted Whitten Jr. is with us now. Ted, a fantastic night, and, well, as Eddie said, the old man will be looking down on us all smiling.
Certainly, Tony. Yeah, fantastic night. All the players are battling very hard in the very tough conditions, and I think that, yeah, you're right. Dad would be very proud of the game and the way it's going.
Tell us a little bit about the EJ Foundation, because it's raised in excess of $300,000 so far.
That's right. Yeah, fantastic effort over the last 5 years. $300,000 all for research of prostate cancer and awareness. And I think that if the game can continue and develop the way it's going, and the players come out of retirement in the AFL, I think it's got a long way to go.
No worries. Pity old man's not here now, actually, because he might have been able to shut Kecker up. But Barry, you knew the great EJ so well, and he would be pretty proud of the big V tonight.
Yeah, it's great. Close ties with Teddy over the years, because he's certainly a Footscray guy, but Geelong was his second club, because he was close association with K-Rock and 3GL in Geelong. So over the years, a lot of time with him, Geelong-wise and also Victorian state team-wise. So a great man, icon of the game, icon of life, and tonight's a real tribute to him.
All right, now, have you had a chance to catch up as to whether you're back in the team or not?
I'm still on the bench, I think, Tony, at this stage, but I'll hear Kecker's yell from behind very shortly, I'd say.
All right, good on you. Well, Eddie, I think we better bail, mate, because he's getting a little R-rated down here with the coach.
All right, then, Tony, we'll leave you down there with slamming Sam Kekovich. Mate, I think we'll get ready for the second half of football. The boys will be back. All the scones are gone.
We'll get one. Let's have this one.
Nothing.
Interestingly enough, too, with Mal Brown. Did you see the whiteboard behind Mal Brown? The scrawlings on it. Lucky he's got John Worsfold there, who's a pharmacist. He'll be the only guy who'll be able to read that.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. The Victorians lead by 4 points at halftime. A pretty good crowd in here tonight in cold conditions at Optus Oval. It's going to be a beauty. Second half coming up right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Welcome back to Optus Oval as we get set for the second half. Victoria versus the All-Stars. In the 5 years it's been played, it's been 2 wins apiece and a draw last year. No draw tonight. It'll be a sudden death shootout if, in fact, these scores are locked together at the end of play. As Atkins gets the All-Stars going in the third term, it's Victoria by 4 points. Dwayne Russell.
Harvey, long bomb inside 50. There he is at the Macedonian marvel.
Free kick.
Traffic gets one for 2.
Oh, he'll put this through. Keep the talk, Dakes.
Well,
he's at 45 metres. You have to kick from about 48.
Just kick the top.
Beyond him, Edward.
Well, he knows how to run through a goal. He didn't know how to run a pub, but he can run through a goal. Kicks it to half forward. Off hands. The fixer got numbers there. Little pick up by German. He had a good first half. To Mark Roberts, he had an even better first half. He couldn't pick it up. Chris Danaher, hands and knees. Lewis is there. Just a little toe poke to the boundary, the sanctuary of the boundary line.
Interesting instructions for Chris Lewis on the whiteboard at half-time, Sam.
Yeah. It said, bite off 2 fingers or you're off. It had written it behind him. It said, Chris Lewis, bite 2 fingers off by half-time or you're off.
All right, so we've got the Eastern Europeans offside and now the Aboriginals. Right.
Mel had that written up for him.
It was written on the board.
Yeah. All right, well, the Victorians have got the ball. They've got plenty of it in this, the third term. Dwayne Help, his champion, comes out of the centre, up towards Brad Hardy, foxing for the free kick. Oh, I think he got one a bit low there from Couchy. Billy Brownlow's back in action. Salmon over the top to Mark Roberts, who's been one of the best on the ground. Here's a chance for Couchy again, the Brownlow medalist. Over the top it goes. Chris Mew ran over the top. Atkins goes back in. Couch in for Victoria. Atkins on hands and knees for the All-Stars. And the umpire will come in and bounce. Forward 50.
Simon Atkins, famous for sending his brother Paul into a team meeting once because he couldn't get there. He sent his twin brother in.
Yeah.
Yes, good bit of work from him too.
Yeah, it confused him for a while until someone said one of them's a girl, one of them's a boy.
The Flea robs the ball off the back of the pack. A beautiful tap, but it's been smothered. Here's a chance now for Chris Lewis. Lewis goes short and finds his teammate in Phoebe. Gary Lyon played with Matthew Phoebe for a number of years. Can he kick it from 50?
No, he couldn't. He was a feeble kick, in actual fact, on the left boot. Look at that. Proof and evidence.
Geez, you're a good special comments man, Gary. That's why you won the award at the Australian Football Media Association this year.
Yes, thank you.
And why you'll be heading up Nine's coverage next year of the footy. Here's Aussie, goes hard for the ball off the ground. Richard Osborne showing plenty of dash. Goes off the ground again, good play. Takes it some 30 metres up towards half forward. Dermot Brereton runs to the boundary line, will overthrow in.
Two new umpires, Sammy.
They are indeed Peter Carey, Johnny Russo. Peter Carey, of course, famous or infamous for what?
Taking that chess mark over at Subiaco. Was it Subiaco?
Somewhere.
It was too. Against Fremantle. Ball back into play. Knocked down to Dacos. High kick inside 50. There goes Eddie again. But once again, Matthew Phoebe again in defence. I mean, you've bagged him all night, Matthew Phoebe.
I said he's a very good player. I said he was a feeble kick.
Oh, hello. German throws his weight in there. The German's on the attack. Out it comes towards the horse, Johnny Longmire. Oh, Harvey goes in. Oh, German goes in again too. Mike Williamson's back in town. Handball over the top there from Bluey McKenna. Out wide to Graham Wright. Righty now on the right boot. Goes out wide to centre wing position. The mark's been taken by his former Collingwood teammate in Bagger, Gavin Krasiska.
What's the chances of Bill touching the footy, would you think?
Absolutely none. Long kick to half forward. The All-Stars almost into attack, but the ball thumped out of play.
Let's go down to Tony Jones. He's with the Victorian runner, Buddha Hocking.
Yes, and he's probably doing more running than anyone tonight, although the tough guy image has taken a battering with this get-up.
It certainly has. It's keeping the hands warm, though, Tony. It's a fantastic idea to wear these pink gloves.
Now, you were pretty keen to pursue some form of coaching career. Running or coaching, what is it?
Well, I'm starting at the running and working my way up. I'm getting into Sam's ear now, just trying to get Dougie on the ground. So, looking at the coaching side of the things here.
Good on you, mate. Back to you, Ed.
Thanks very much. Tony Jones with Buddha Hocking as Gavin Krasiska grabs another mark for the All-Stars.
I wonder how many needles Gary Hocking had in his knees to be able to run here tonight in this fantastic game. He's a good friend of Ted Whitten in the old days, Buddha. And what a fantastic competitor for Victoria. TD's got it. Terry Danaher wide. Now they're working this ball forward right over the top to Platten. Is that a good handball, Sam? Can he kick it from there? Platten from the pocket. That is goal of the night.
What a goal to Johnny Platten. Puts the All-Stars in front by 2 points. We've been going 5 minutes in this, the third quarter, and it's the All-Stars by the 2 points. Let's have a look at a replay again as Johnny Platten. What a sensational player he was in 258 games for Hawthorn. Tight in on the boundary line. This used to be the Hawks' home ground for a while. And boy, he knew where to find the goals. The 87 Brownlow medalist and 84 McGarry medalist. The All-Stars have got the numbers again forward. Dwayne Russell as Allison tries to get the handball away.
And Rat Buse there got one for not being in possession, and he'll take it on the wing.
Sam, it's interesting now that we've got the modern-day umpires. We had 8 free kicks all in the first half, and already it is 3 apiece in the third quarter. They love to over-umpire the modern-day boys.
They do indeed, Ed. See, it's not the free kicks you don't pay, it's the ones you do pay, I keep saying. And these boys here just let it go and be played in the spirit with which the game was formulated.
The eye specialist was just over the ball there, Dermott, but he couldn't quite get the stat that he wanted. And the ball's still in dispute. John Longmire's got it. Handballs it wide to Bluey McKenna. Kick around the body by the All-Star. The eye specialist's under it again, and he takes the mark.
You've got to work with these blokes next year, boys.
I love Dermott. What a champion player he was. 5 premierships for the Hawks.
Oh, off the side of the boot. He went for the big barrel. It went 45 metres in the air and about 10 forward. Oh, off the ground goes Chris Iskra. He's killed one of his teammates. We'll have a ball up. Reece Jones there. David Murphy was complaining there.
Laurie Keane, he had a foot injury for the best part of 3 years.
Have a look at that. Gav Chris Iskra. He nearly killed Graham right there.
Laurie Keane trying to get a gig with Queen's Park Rangers. That was the best header of all time. It went straight through his hands and hit him on the bonce.
Lewis from half-back, around the body to Atkins on the wing. All-Stars are looking fairly sprightly in this second half. Long kick inside 50. Allison couldn't quite mark it. Couch the crumb. Little Paulie Couch. Rowdy Brown just overran it a couple of times and then went back and got it and gave it to Couchy. Into the flea to Mark Harvey. What a big Saturday afternoon it's going to be for him. And what a pass to Dean. Inside 50. And here he is, Derm. And Derm's got it.
He has sparked them across half forward. Spent the first half playing across half back against Teddy Danaher, but he's battled with Gavin Siska.
The only problem with Dermott's fitness is that can his knees hold up under the weight of his own ego?
I'd be backing Dermott. I saw him kicking for goal at Hawthorn training through the week.
And this to put the Vicks back in front. Oh, he's missed. Anti-climax.
Well, he's not happy, Dermott.
No, he's not.
All right, well, let's go down to Tony Jones. He's with Bomber Thompson.
Yes, and a bit of a first, I can tell you. Somebody's actually complimented Kecker's coaching, and it's a real coach. Mark Thompson, you happy with that move with Dermott?
Yeah, well, he's moved from the back line into the forward line where he's played all his career and won 5 premierships, and that's probably a good move in the end.
All right, good on you. Back to you, Ed.
Yeah, logic like that. No wonder he's a coach. Dermott, they're missing from the set shot, so the Vicks trail by a point. But they're starting to run in numbers now as Michael Roberts, the 42-year-old, 43 in fact he is these days, Robbo. Magnificent play on the left boot. Gets it inside 50, but it was an ordinary kick as far as the direction was concerned. Chris Iskra across to Longmire. He's copped it up. Here's Dermott though. Can he kick a goal? He can! Dermott kicks his first. The Vicks hit the front. We'll be back with more on the EJ Whitten Legends game right after this. So watch this, Dermott there, just lurking off the back. He'd given up the ghost and suddenly it came out to him. He picked it up and those chicken legs put it right through the middle that time from 15 metres, and he almost got the strut going there, Gary.
Well, I think it was there. Gavin Krasiska, he just needs to tighten up a touch on Dermott for the mighty red Bombers.
Hang on, we've got an injury. Chris Muse in a bit of a bad way. Tony Jones on the boundary line. What's wrong with Chris?
Well, just finding out now, Chris. What do you think it is, mate?
Torn my calf.
Torn a calf injury. You'll be right for the last quarter. Right, you've lost it, Chris. Good on you, mate.
Chris Mew at 40 years of age. Not happy there.
He should be over that in 6 or 12 months, I reckon.
Just a casual game for the EJ Whitten Foundation. Put him in hospital for 2 years. Oh, no, he must come down and play, boys. It's fantastic.
Chris Mew, who won premierships in 83, 86, 88, 89 and 91. 5-time premiership player at centre-half back. You talk about Dermott at centre-half forward. Chris Mew was the Rocket Gibraltar for the Hawthorn side at centre-half back. The boy from Rosebud who was talked out of retirement because of injury back in 1989 and then, of course, came back for another premiership in 91. Will he be back next year, though, for the EJ Whitten? We'll have to send Yabby Jeans down to talk him
That's
out
a
of it.
2-year injury if ever I've seen one.
The flea on the wing just tapped that one down. The Vicks by 5 points, by the way. Here he is, Michael Roberts. What a game he's played tonight. He's been sensational. Derm's there, can't bring the mark down. Krasiska,
Free kick.
Collingwood teammate, and the Derm's going to get it What about Michael Roberts? He is one of the men that Malcolm Blight blamed for ruining the culture at St Kilda.
Yes.
What a superb performer he's been tonight.
No, he says it's all fixed now, Robbo.
Robbo thought that culture was yoga.
One of the sort of men.
Derm to the flea, hands it off. Big opportunity here. Richard Osman through traffic, shot at goal.
Beautiful.
Puts it through.
And probably, if the goal hadn't been kicked, might have got the free kick for a push, but that's in the thrust and parry of the game. Gary, let's not over-umpire it.
It is a very good chase by Chris Lewis, but Richard Osman kicks his second, and he's been very prominent up forward.
And looking at that on replay, that certainly was not a free kick if he'd missed it, because he pulled him to the side, Gary.
How do you think Danny Frawley's gone tonight, Sammy?
Kecker's proud of you, mate.
But he's played well, Gary. He's held down a flank beautifully, and...
yes, Danny's
late withdrawal, of course.
Enjoying life down there in his palatial Brighton home. Let's go to umpire Johnny Russo. Johnny, how's it going out there at the moment?
Yeah, it's great, Eddie. Everybody's playing in great spirit, so it's good to be out here again.
Would you like to do a bit of auditioning, maybe, to be the fourth umpire for next year, mate?
I think three's too many, mate, so don't bring in a fourth.
You're dead right. We'll take your word for that. You've got the sack for next year. Micken out of the centre. Tumble punts it forward.
Vicks by 11 points. Billy was down there beaten by his ex-Cat teammate Barry Stoneham. Spots Harvey. Bomb by Harvey to the wing, and little Robert Scott. Ex-Cat, ex-Roo, now the president of the past players for the Kangaroos and Geelong. True fun. Ball close to the boundary line. McLean's there. Osborne, the kicker of the last goal. Mark Roberts, kick around the body towards half forward. But it's the All-Stars who'll let it go out. David Murphy.
Did you say Scotty was president of two clubs past players?
He is. There's a combined past players trip between the Cats and the Kangaroos coming up in a few weeks' time. Robert Scott's the president.
Playing golf and getting poleaxed.
Well, still constitutes a past players, don't it?
Let's go down to Mark Bickley, who's with Mal Brown, and the game slipping away from the All-Stars, Bix.
Yes, Mal, you're in a bit of trouble there. You can't find a winner in the forward line.
No, we're fine. We're just going to put Brett Allison back on and take Brad Hardy off and give him a break. We haven't seen Brad since quarter time.
Not enough legs down there,
I think he's tired. I think he's worn out.
Bix, can you ask Mel why he's persevering with Billy Brownless at full forward?
I missed that, Daddy. The big someone went for a big fly and everyone cheered.
Yeah.
Why Billy Brownless at full forward?
Yeah.
Because the management have told him to let him take him off.
Yeah, and also, Mel, we need some highlight vision for the Sunday footy show. So
Billy's calling for it long. He gets the big torpedo. Here's a chance for Billy Brownless. And Capital has taken the mark. The Wiz is back. And I think that's a free kick to the Victorians.
he's not.
Umpire John Russo, what is going on out there?
I'm not interfering, Eddie. PC's got the control, so I think he's going to ball it up, mate.
Peter Carey, what are you doing, Peter?
Oh, I have to ball it. Go, Warwick. Get out of the way.
Hey, Peter.
Get him out of here. Get him out. I'll give you 50. Go on, get out of it.
Hang on, Peter, before you ball it up, can you tell us what is the difference between Kappa marking it and you doing so?
Well, I wasn't allowed to, and he probably is. Here we go.
All right, Billy Brownless missed an opportunity there. He had to sit only to be spoiled by his team runner. That's controversy at its very best here at the EJ Whitten night. Dacos gets it out beautifully to the flea with time. A little handball over the top, trying to find some spaces. Harvey does it beautifully. The 1-2 going. It's Harvey again. Outside now to Brereton. Look at the kick. Harvey's been magnificent. He's been lace up all night, Gary Lyon.
He's been superb. He's obviously kept his skill work up at Essendon, and he's played a very, very good game.
Brereton moves it on to Bomber Thompson. Over to German. They've got the numbers. The Victorians out here wide on the flank. Robert Scott, who's past president of more clubs than what Greg Millman's had in his bag over the years, centres the ball up to Brereton. He was pushed out. Flea Waitman at the fall of the ball. Front and square. He breaks the tackle. He was legged. He was legged.
What's the decision here?
Oh, could be 50 here.
He wasn't legged.
He hasn't indicated yet.
Johnny Russo, what's the free kick?
Trip, mate.
It is a trip.
Terrible.
And if ever there was a bloke who can fire on a trip, it was this bloke. Flea Waitman, the man who had to be helicoptered out of Mexico to Los Angeles to have his stomach pumped after breaking the tequila sculling record on a Richmond interseason trip. Comes in from 40 metres out, kicks a shocker. Dropping, Royal might have got one high. Play on Brereton, gets into his old teammate, and overlooking the Rat. He got straight into Dermot there. And Gary, you'd have to say that Rat should get a free hit at Dermot in those situations.
Yeah, no, only fair. Look at the little fellow, little Rat. Brownlow medalist, that man there.
Dermot's just grumpy because the Rat's the only player out there with better hair than him. Mark Roberts over the ball now. Mickens there, and once again there'll be a ball up.
He'll just pluck a free kick out here, Sam, to clear the congestion.
Let's hope so, because it's 11 points the difference in favour of the Vics.
Ball about to be tossed in the air.
Look forward to more of those. Special comments next year from Sam.
Well, the point being, Ed, that we want the thing to go up the other end, so it's even.
Couch to the pocket, under it.
Good mark, Chris Lewis.
Good mark there. How is Todd Viney, by the way?
No, he's well, but Louis was out last night and diligently preparing for this game today.
Yeah, well, he must have been, because I was staying at the Crown, Gary, and I saw him running at about 5 this morning when I got up with young Joseph.
Fully clothed. Running home, he was.
Here's the handball over the top. Phoebe to McLean, back to Phoebe. Phoebe looking to give it off, decides to run through the lines. Good play, onto the left boot. Kicks it to the centre wing position, but getting in the way. The Victorians just a little bit too strong at the moment. German has been fantastic all night. To Couch, who, after all those years, still can't kick with his right foot. And it's been cut off by Guy McKenna.
Bluey, short-ish to Conlon. What a picture of absolute fitness Conlon is.
43 years of age, Mickey Conlon.
Long drop punt to half forward. TD with the punch away from behind. Where's Brownless? He was sharking front and square. He was more front and plenty of square. But they'll mop it up in defence, the Vics. Monkey over the top to Harvey. Long kick to the wing. The Vics have got numbers, and once again mopping it up at half forward. Mark Thompson, the Geelong coach, to Durham, forward pocket, handballs it, but he handballs it straight to John Longmire, and the All-Stars might come away with it from defence.
So Brereton, who's managed by IMG, gets it across to the manager from IMG. I think there's a bit of waxing going out there, even in the opposition teams, as it comes out to Chris Lewis on centre wing. The West Coast Eagles champion kicks forward, but getting across to take a very strong mark was Peter Dean.
Very rock solid across half-back, Dean and also Harvey.
And a few of them just getting a little bit serious at the moment. The serious pills have been taken at half-time. Kick in from Stoneham has been marked by Buse.
I'd say Lewis and Harvey vying for Mom. Man of the match.
Thank you. Not Bog. Best on ground.
Thank you.
There's Scott over the top. Good looking kick this one, and he finds Osborne. No, I just got a word through. The word just came up from the bench, boys, that the move of the match has happened. Doug Hawkins has come onto the ground. Tony Jones, more on that one. Tony, you're there with news on Dougie Hawkins.
Dougie's kidnapped him.
Well, the highlight of Doug Hawkins' game has been him grappling with his leggings. How long did it take them to get him off?
He did a quad trying to get them off.
Now, there's been a soccer off the ground here from Mark Thompson, but he just missed to the
I've got
near
a concern,
side.
Dwayne, with Bill. He's been out there now for the best part of this quarter.
If I could be serious, Gary, his physical appearance is a disgrace, and I feel for that man, and I think he is in serious trouble if he doesn't come off the ground shortly. I think a fearful injury could beset him.
He's got a huge heart. He'll fight through that.
Well, now that the All-Stars are 2 goals down exactly, they need someone to be able to kick a goal or two. Vics 5-8-38, All-Stars 4-2-26.
From the kick out, Terry Danaher. Here's a chance for Gavin Brown to line him up, and got him too. Revenge for 1990 at quarter time at last. Bluey McKenna. Beautiful kick forward. The mark has been taken there by Dwayne Lamb. Dwayne Lamb kicks around the body.
Good kick.
Oh, beautiful kick up to Allison. Allison goes around his man. Handball over the top. Champion can go to Brownless, but ignores him. And was lucky to be able to fit the ball past Billy in the goals there. And it's a goal. And a badly needed goal for the All-Stars. They're back within 6 points. It's Victoria 5-8-38. The All-Stars 5-2-32. And that coming very close to the three-quarter time siren. We've been going 18 and a half minutes. So by the time we get back to the centre, there won't be much time left in this 20-minute quarter.
And a good tactical move by the All-Stars to bring Richard Champion down from the backline, Gaddy, to kick that goal in the third term. So that gives them just a bit of respite as we go towards three-quarter time. 6 points the diff. That could be in and out, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was a good. I think you're going to. We will see a genuine contest in the last quarter.
Genuine,
the difference, and let's hope Bill survives and gets a kick.
All right. Well, Billy's running into the huddle. Billy, your thoughts going into the three-quarter time break?
Mate, look, 6 points down. If they kick it to me, they're going to win. They know that.
All right, then. So there you go.
How you feeling, Will?
I'm going to pull myself off here, Gary.
On that note, Victoria 5-8-38. The All-Stars 5-2-32.
I don't think Bill realises we're live. I think this is going to be replayed. I think he thinks in a month or so we're going to edit it.
We'll take a break and be back. It's the EJ Whitten Legends Game. Victoria, the pride of the state, on the line. The All-Stars trailing by a goal. We'll be back right after this on Nine's Widewater Sports. Welcome back to Optus Oval. We're in for a thrilling final term as Victoria take in a 6-point lead over the All-Stars. It was a draw last year. If it is a draw at the end of play after 20 minutes, we'll have a golden goal, a kicking competition to decide the winner this year of the EJ Whitten Trophy. Let's go down to Tony Jones and Mark Bickley. Jonesy.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. Well, two very important changes here. Brereton and Robert Scott off, Van der Haar and Merritt on. And if I can just say, I did detect just a touch of complacency in the Victorian camp. Time will tell. What about you, Bix?
Yes, Mel Brown, very disappointed with the backman not picking up. He's actually offered anyone that goes back and picks up a man will get free beer for the rest of the night. So that's a bit of an incentive for the backman to pick up. Also, Billy Brownless has been taking off. I think they're saving him in case it's close right near the end.
And also, Chris Mew still in a bit of trouble with the calf injury. Doc Larkins, it's not too late to get here, mate.
All right, Pete Larkins will be here. Don't worry about that. Out of the centre backs. Look at this. Mickey Conlon gave him the old don't argue, then the U-turn and kicks down. And look at that. Champion's taken the mark. Oh, scores will be level if he can kick this from 15 metres out directly in front. But what about mighty Mick Conlon?
Yeah, the don't argue. Unfortunately, his Don is good, is who's doing it. But it was the don't argue. And just a couple of stellar performances by the key forwards. Brownless and Brian Taylor. No stats at all.
This to draw, scores, level, champion.
No.
He's missed it.
Has missed.
Oh, I've penciled that in already.
He'll have to change his surname after that, surely.
That was a disgraceful performance by Richard, and that's why he was a fullback.
Maybe he's setting it up because a goal now for the All-Stars will put him in front.
And
Richard
Sam,
Amateur.
you have a theory about a champion, don't you?
Swap ends, James.
I do, Ed. I'll just think about what that theory
That
is.
spark plug, wasn't it?
I think it was it Robert?
Just because you've... Exactly, thank you, Ed. Just because you've got a head and you're like a spark plug, don't think you're a champion.
Long kick in from fullback.
Sorry,
Royal.
you have to prompt me with it, Ed.
That came up special comments at exactly the right time. Then.
Oh, Couchy comes. Oh, the big elbow goes out. Look at that. Umpire Russo. Surely that's a report.
Yours.
Umpire Russo.
Oh, no.
That's 50.
Oh,
discipline.
No. Oh, the Victorians are all over the place. Johnny Russo, what's going on out there?
Oh, we've just got a bit of confusion, mate. The blokes are playing games with us and they're winning at the moment.
Now,
I think Couchy sort of fended off with an elbow.
He certainly did. Now, Gary Lyon, we see Paul Couch, who was the mild-mannered garbologist once upon a time when he was a Brownlow medalist. Now he's a columnist down there in the Geelong Advertiser. He's gone mad. He's elbowing blokes, throwing the ball away, costing them the game possibly.
Yes, he's a thug.
He's got fire in the belly, Gary.
He has. He loves his club, Sam.
This kick to put the All-Stars
We could do this whole commentary on
to a
cliches,
1-point lead.
From point-blank range, here's Murphy.
Straight through the middle, and the All-Stars are in front by a point. 2.5 minutes in, final term. Danger signs for the Vicks, gentlemen.
Clearly need to get Brereton back on the ground. He was the impetus for the Victorian revival in this third quarter, and he's not there.
Couchy here with a fend off. There is, you know what he does do now in Geelong? His business, he sells wheelchairs and walking frames to old people. So if you need a crutch, Sam, he is the man to call.
I was going to say, you couldn't give us his number, could you?
Let's go down to Tony Jones and Mark Bickley. There's some movement on the bench.
Yeah, I think they're trying to orchestrate Billy Brownless to get back up and moving again. As I mentioned, if it's very close towards the end, they want Billy out there and firing in the goal square.
All right, Mark, stick the microphone under Billy's nose and ask him what he's going to do coming on the ground.
What are you going to do when you get on, mate?
Nothing, what I've done all night.
All right, thank you, Billy, for those forthright comments. In the meantime, Victoria trailing by a point, as you can see in the screen, 39-38. It's Royal on centre wing. He kicks it inside 50, bit of a helicopter, but the Hawk, Dougie Hawkins, 350 games of AFL muscle, takes the mark, and the Hawk will line up from 45 metres out.
Well, a beautiful piece of play by Dougie, sliding in there, and plenty to slide on too, Gary. An ample roof over the tool shed as he comes in now to try and fire for the Vicks sixth.
This to take the lead back for the Vicks from 45. Drop punt, not bad off the boot. We'll wait on it, wait on it, wait on it. Vicks back in front.
What a man. Well, a beautiful sliding mark by Dougie Hawkins there, and I think he hurt his right elbow then when he took that mark, but a fantastic kick, and the 2 goal umpires signifying that it was true and correct.
And he's going off the ground, Sammy, so he has hurt himself.
Yes, he did.
So the Vics go back in front by 5 points. It's 44-39 as Johnny Gastier for the All-Stars kick forward, but Michael Roberts has been fantastic on the wing, and he takes another mark backing into the pack. Robbo looks forward, as you can see now, no mucking around. He kicks out wide looking for Dacos. Dacos does it beautifully, gets through the pack. He's going to be tackled from behind. Too high, surely. And it is a free kick going away at Peter Dacos.
Peripheral vision working beautiful there for Dakes.
It's his free kick.
Oh, he's paid it.
It was
Johnny
too
Russo's
high.
listened to you.
Too high by a mile. Dacos goes wide. Beautiful kick. We'll go to Dougie Hawkins in a minute on the boundary line. He's off the ground after that inspirational play. The 1-2 out to Buse. From the fridge, Roberts. Buse from 50 kicks it into the hot spot, getting in the way there. Good play there by Bluey McKenna, and he's been held, and the free kick will go the way of Johnny Platten. Let's go down to the bench now. Doug Hawkins is off. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
Yes, what happened, Hawk? You were going so well.
Well, I'm an impact player. Kicker said I did my job, and he's happy about it, so I'll come back soon.
All right, and just very quickly, Eddie, something big is about to happen here because the Victorian bench is eyeing off the All-Stars. Billy Brownless is warming up. BT's warming up. Yes. I think we're in for something special.
Well, the Battle of the Bulge could be on here at Optus Oval.
TD kicks to half forward. Mark Harvey.
He's been resolute.
Well, he's trying to show the example to his Essendon boys for this weekend's game.
Resolute.
He's been the Rock at Gibraltar.
To Bomber Thompson, his old teammate, the coach of the Cats.
Great resolve.
And close to the boundary line, and Matt Phoebe just couldn't grab the ball. Matt Phoebe just not quite quick enough there, Gary.
Boys, do you reckon that Wayne Jackson just having second thoughts at the moment about for the next 5 years?
Vicks by 5 points, by the way, 44-39.
Throw in. Here's Brian Taylor getting ready to come on. Brereton did the ruck work. It comes down to Johnny Gastier though for the All-Stars. Handballs over the top. Good play by Atkins to Micken. On to Magic McLean. Centre wing. Kicks it up looking for Champion. Used his body, but getting to the front was big bad Buddy Stoneham.
Stoneham to the fridge. Got it at half-back. Champion tackles him just a little too late. Dangerous kick. And the Fishpool Salmon's got it at full back. Chip around the body to German. Gee, they're confident at the moment. The Vicks. German over the top of the Flea.
Everywhere.
And they are away, Victoria. The Flea back to Salmon. Pushed as he got the kick away. It travels to half forward. Big Mark Micken bends down. Old South Australian teammate Johnny Platten's got on the end of it to Matt Phoebe. Fast through the midfield. Long kick. One-on-one. Champion Stoneham. Free kick. It's against Champion. Stoneham's going to get it.
Twice Barry's held them up deep in defence.
Well, the big news here is that Billy and BT are on the ground. Have a look and go at each other. Look at this. Look at them going up the wing. Barger's calling for the ball.
Look at Brian Taylor.
He's got it. Look at this. Brian Taylor gets the handball working. The Vicks go into attack. Whiteman over the top is beautiful play to Royal, who runs to half forward. He kicks the grubber. I think that was by design. What do you think, boys? I think I'm making it up. Here's Aussie. Goes the wrong way. Uses the U-turn over the top to Royal. He's kicked it out of bounds. No, it's through for a point. It's 45-39. Victoria lead by 1 goal. We've played nearly 8 minutes in the final term. 20 minutes of play to go to play in this quarter. And if it scores level, we'll have a kick out.
Yes, one straight kick in it, or 6 really bad little kicks.
Oh, it's gone up. The tempo has gone up a notch, Sammy.
Just up a point or two. And there's Billy Brownless making a lead onto the wing. Brian looks like Fatty Boomba. Look at him.
Kick to the middle of the ground. There's Brian. Just poetry in slow motion, Brian Taylor. Ball knocked down to Atkins. Good move here by the All-Stars. They can draw scores level. Right. Handball. Over the top, Atkins, Platten, back to right, handballs it wide, Krasiska, danger signs here, chip kick, Conlon's got it.
Mickey will have a shot, don't you worry about that.
Don't bother leading.
Remember that kick for Fitzroy, when was it? Way back in 84, the last kick of the game.
Waverley.
Elimination final.
Against the Bombers, and Leon Harris got it out of the centre, and Mickey just ran with intent.
Now this to bring them within 1 point.
This will actually
make it scores level.
Scores level, Sam.
Works
Long kick at goal. We'll wait on it.
Going to be
I'm sorry, it looked like
39 and
46.
6.
It looked like 46 on the board. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Sam. I know it's getting a bit hard on the eyes.
Well, that looks
They
like
don't
46, Gary, doesn't it?
What about the stuff on the screen, Sam? What about those marks on the screen there? That's just happened to say 45 to 40 now. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
my eyes had gone. I went to the optometrist. He took me outside. He said, "What's that up there?" I said, "It's the sun." He said, "How much further do you want to see?"
Boom, boom. Off the ground goes Atkins. They're dog-tired, these guys. Billy's got a stat. Taylor's coaching at him.
Taylor's gone over the top.
I'm tipping there'll be a tidal wave. There'll be a tidal wave in Japan as a result of
Now,
that.
one thing Bill can do is he can actually kick a football. If he can swing his hamstring through quick enough, he's a sensational kick.
Billy, what's going through your mind? Oh, he's kicked the barrel to the goal square. Off the hands, Conlon's going to have a shot at goal. Mickey on the left foot. He's put the All-Stars in front. It's a goal! Welcome back, Billy Brownless and Brian Taylor. Billy, you orchestrated that goal.
Yes. Another 1%er I've done tonight, Ed. I've done a few of them. So
I've drawn blood, Ed. Look at it.
Barge,
blood.
have you opened him up, Barge?
Yeah, open him up on the left.
He's a big fat laugh.
He won't go into my forward line, the big fella. I'm too dangerous. Look at me.
In the meantime, we'll leave them to have their own personal
They're
battle out
stumbling
there.
and
Here's
reeling.
Mark Roberts from 40 metres out. The fridge has a long shot at the goal. Don't tell me he's kicked it.
Oh, yes.
I think it's a beauty. It's a magnificent point. And have a look at Dougie Hawkins appealing for the goal, but it's a point and scores a level. We could be down to a shootout at the end of the game. It's 16 to 7-4, but it's 46 points apiece as they come out through Guy McKenna for the All-Stars.
Couldn't ask for much more than this in your grand final week than a close game between the All-Stars and the Vics. Ball at half-back for the All-Stars, and there's been a free kick picked out.
Critical, Johnny Gastev, easy mark, dropped, then gave a free kick away.
All right, a big chance here for the Vics. Tony Jones is with the coach, Sam Kekovich.
Okay, Kecker, panic-stricken here on the Victorian bench. What are you up to?
Oh, no, we're reasonably composed. We realise that, we've made a few moves that we think will, hold us in good stead very shortly. We're under siege, but the boys have been there and done it before, so I see no reason why we won't get out of this one.
Dermot coming back on?
Very shortly. You can see Dougie's kids want to see him play for a little longer.
All right, so Dougie's kids are keeping Hawk on the ground at the moment. Doom will be on shortly, scores a level. The big man should be on, there's no doubt about it. I can't understand the coaching down there. Can you, Gary?
Very poor by Kekovich at the moment. The win is all that matters. Don't worry about Dougie's kids.
It's amazing that Mickey Conlon's the oldest man on the ground, and the longer the game goes, the more he's getting as he gets it across to Krasiska, to Murphy. Murphy inside 50. Danaher couldn't quite grab it. His brother hit the pack. Picked up by Ratten. Ratten's kick. The Rat Platten. that's a combination of the Rat and Platten. is Ratten. And the ball dribbles over the line and out of bounds from Johnny. Platten will have a throw in the forward pocket in front of the Roberts Hitley stand in.
Well, they've got to rush it behind the All-Stars, surely.
They must. They should. There's plenty of time, though, right, Dwayno?
Okay, so don't rush it behind, Gary.
There's still
Kick a
time
goal.
if they're good enough.
Ball back into play. Forward pocket for the All-Stars. Can they get a possession here? A clear possession out of the pack. They can't. Well tied up by the Vic defence.
Of course, they can run the clock down because they know very well that 20 minutes will see it out.
We've been playing some 13 minutes, so just under 7 minutes to go in this game.
Oh, free kick in the ruck contest. Terry Danaher will have a kick at goal to put the All-Stars in front.
Peter, I think that's Peter Carey down there. Peter, that was an absolute shocker of a decision.
Oh, wait till I see the replay later.
Well, you don't have to. We'll tell you. There was
Okay,
nothing
thank you.
in that.
You're ruining the game, Pete. You're
That was
ruining
in
the game.
back.
No, you're right, Peter. It was in the back.
He's got to kick it, though, Terry Danaher.
Well, any score will put the All-Stars in front.
Oh,
he has kicked any score.
That's poor.
He's kicked it behind. But they're in front by exactly that score, and there's, 14 minutes on the clock, final quarter.
What do you think, Sam? What way is he going to go? You're on the
Well, I
edge of your
think,
seat.
in all seriousness, they should bring Dermot Brereton onto the ground because I think they'd need a key forward at this stage, Gary, and the Vics need to just sneak a point just to make a kick-off possible.
So Stoner brings the ball back into play with a beautiful kick. It's trebled all of 50 metres. On hands and knees, look at that good play by Monkhurst. Here's a chance now for Victoria. Off the ground they go with Peter Dean. Dean takes it to the boundary line. Let's go down to Tony Jones, and Dermot stripped and ready to be the match winner.
He certainly is. You're fired up. You're ready to go.
I am reasonably keen. Yeah.
Just take it one win at a time. Good on you, Dermot. Get out there. Do it for Victoria.
Come on, Derm. Get stuck into him. Throw in. The All-Stars lead by a point. Billy. Billy! Look at that! Magnificent stuff over the top. Ellison with the kick out in front of Conlon, close to the boundary line. Mickey can't pick it up. And it goes over the line. Look at that. Chris Mew, even though he's got a torn calf, still getting stats on the bench.
Unbelievable.
And that came from a magnificent boundary hit out by Laurie Keane, who swatted it 30 metres up to Billy Brownless. Actually, it fell into his gut.
Terry Danaher doing the ruck work from behind for the All-Stars, who lead by a point late in this final term. But once again, BT working hard in defence to Royal. Kick around the body. Billy!
Brian's been too loose.
Billy, Billy, that was magnificent.
Just read the play.
Get it back, Bill. Murphy inside 50 for the All-Stars. Ball clean, bowls a couple. Conlon there. Rat Hughes, that was almost deliberate. Not paid.
Free kick.
Hughes gets a free.
Free kick. Well, Mel Brown's in front by a point. Mark Bickley's with him.
It's been a great move bringing Billy Brownless on. He's done well.
Kick behind the play. He's been very, very good. Pacey and used his strength.
And Mickey Conlon, fantastic.
Yeah, Mick for his age has been a star.
Thanks, mate.
Chance here. Billy Brownless playing the one-man flood at the moment across the half-back line.
He's a shadow of his former self, a very big shadow, but nevertheless, nothing like he used to be.
Monkhurst, resolute as Gary Lyon said before, takes the mark. Here's a chance for Victoria. Salmon will have to run onto the ball. Krasiska with
Watch
him.
those strings.
And takes it to the boundary line and will have a throw in.
We've got Paul van der Haar playing full forward at the moment. He could be the match winner for Victoria.
Inside 4 minutes of this game left. The All-Stars hang on to a 1-point lead.
But the Vics are at half forward and the big fish doing the ruck work against Keane. Ball knocked down, little Robbie Scott, handball out. Keane close to the boundary. Chris Lewis, the saviour for the All-Stars. Kicks toward the wing. Vics with numbers. The Rat gets a little handball over the top, looking for the Monkey. Diving through Graham Wright, the Monkey, 2 ex-Collingwood players, Eddie, showing that grand old Magpie commitment. Allison gets on the end of a handball.
Free kick to Victoria.
Oh, that's controversial.
Hughes.
They've got to move the footy, Ed. There's no time on. They're running out of time.
Hughes.
3 minutes to go.
Coaches Willie in the VFL. Long kick. Big leap. Richard Osborne over the top of Dwayne Lamb with the free kick to Dwayne Lamb. All-Stars by a point.
Vics are going to have to get it back quickly. Lamb at half back. Puts it up in the air. Punched away there beautifully by Dougie Hawkins. Lewis front and square. Danaher to the boundary line. The clock keeps ticking.
Well, they've got to do something quite desperate here, Sammy. What would you suggest?
I'd suggest they form a wedge and try and fly it down.
2.5 minutes to go. How does Mel Brown feel, the coach of the All-Stars?
Very nervous and not very confident at the moment.
Here we go. Well, they're in front, but here's a chance. It's Brown back on the ground with less than 2.5 minutes on the clock. The Vics need to score. Dermott plays on. He thumps it long inside 50. Brian Taylor!
Beauty, Brian.
Taylor! Barnes! He's played on straight away. He's kicked forward. And Peter German's taken a mark. Barnes, tell him there's only 2 minutes left, Brian. Brian, get over there and tell him there's 2 minutes left
Brian,
on the clock.
He can't move. Yes, he can.
Yes, look at
those arthritic knees of Brian's just had enough left in them to
now
get
he's arthritic.
Let's listen to Brian tell him. Brian, what'd you say to him?
2 minutes to go. He knows. He's aware of it. Look at this big bloke. German.
German comes in from 45. The kick is on its way. It's a score. What sort of score is it, though? It's a point.
A kick off on the cards.
It's a point. Scores a level in the EJ Whitten game. Oh, high drama in grand final week. It's 47 points apiece. They're dog-tired. They're playing from memory out there at the moment, boys. Hit the boundary. From the kick in, the Fridge has got it outside 50 for Victoria.
If he kicks this into the man on the mark, it's rigged.
He's got to load up. He's going to go for the big one.
They've flooded back.
There's just seconds left. He's outside 50.
A minute to go.
He can't make the distance. There's no
47
chance.
apiece. All tied up. Seconds left. It's a fairy tale, this. This is what you dream of as a kid, to have this kick to win the game. Big, long torpedo. Goal square. Rush it through. They've run away the All-Stars. The All-Stars combined in defence. And scores stay level.
45 seconds left. This is the last roll of the dice. We could be down to a shut-and-death kickoff.
Could you believe it?
Who would have thought that the meeting in my office this afternoon would end up in such hot drama? Here's Platten, hands and knees, knocks it out. Oh, they're into it now. In goes Harvey, great play. We're down to 31 seconds and counting. Oh, there's not going to be time. Hurry up, John, there's 25 seconds left. Get it up, Johnny Russo, quick. We're running out of on-air time. It's going to tick down. We're down to the last 15 seconds. Can the Vicks get a score?
There we go.
They get it. Osman gets it.
No.
That's it. That's the last play of the game, Ed.
Last roll of the dice, Gary. I reckon we can do a game
This
in
is it.
cliches.
Could be a free kick coming up. Gaston. It's a draw for the second year in a row. We'll be back here next week.
I'd give you the tip.
What happens now, Ed? What happens now?
Hang on, I'm just going to have a meeting with myself. I'll tell you what happens now. The two teams will assemble at the Robert Heatley stand.
Not all of them are going to kick.
All of them will line up, and they will kick goal for goal, and the first team that misses, the pressure is on.
These two can kick us off, perhaps.
This is it. So as the boys assemble, let's go down to John Russo. John, can you tell us exactly what's going on?
We have the penalty kick-out or shoot-off, Eddie, and they've just got to nominate a kicker, and each team kicks until one misses.
All right, well, that's the drama at the moment. Tony Jones is alongside Sam Kekovich. High drama here at Optus Oval.
Sam, you look like an absolutely broken man. Are you confident? Who's your designated kicker?
Well, I'm going to nominate Peter German. Fairly accurate. He's good on the pressure. He's been there, done it before, but what a sensational game.
Now, Sam, from how far out?
Okay, back to the com box.
Come back to me here, boys, because I think we might actually overrule from the commentary box and have Brian Taylor versus Billy Brownless for the kickoff from 40 metres out.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you pull a lot of springs, Eddie.
Oh, I don't think Barnes could kick that far, could he?
Let's go down to Mel Brown. Mel, this is what we would have had last year, except you yelled at me and you walked off the ground.
I didn't. Everybody else did. But now what do we do? Do we nominate someone or
Brownless?
Brownie, what we're going to do is it's going to be a kick-off. The first two, Billy Brownless.
Tell Eddie what you told him last year to get
and
done.
Brian Taylor.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Eddie. I think that's a wonderful idea, even if it's only to keep a job.
Okay, well, they're both mic'd up. Billy Brownless has to kick from 40 metres out, and Brian Taylor has to stand the mark. So, Brian have got the balls each in front of them. The umpires will actually stand the mark. And if you think we're making this up as we go, you're dead right.
Big Laurie Keane is the man on the mark. And Paul Salmon.
In all fairness, Ed, both prolific goal kickers in their days as players.
I better explain this as we go, just one at a time. The first kick will come from Brian Taylor, representing Victoria. So he must kick the goal. If he does, then Billy has to answer. Brian Taylor.
Can he make the difference?
Just lining up here.
527 career goals. Good luck, Barge. In he comes.
Drop punt from Taylor. It's a ripper off the boot. BT, salute the crowd, BT.
1-0 Victoria. Brian, how do you feel?
Oh, well, it was just an easy shot out. I guess Billy will probably kick this and we'll go again. But look, there was no problems with it. There's a little bit of wind coming over the right shoulder helping.
Billy's guts
might get in the way of the ball here.
Billy's done this before. He did it against the Bulldogs. Can he do it now? Drop punt, sailing through.
All right, it's 1-1. Now we go to the next call. Let's go down to Tony Jones. Who's going to kick next for Victoria, Tony?
Absolutely pandemonium down here at the moment, Eddie. The team's now just deciding exactly what to do. Sam Kekovich trying to muster up all the energy can among his troops. I must admit the All-Stars looking just a little bit worried at the moment, but this is hype personified down here, Edward.
All right, let's go. I think we're going down to Richard Osborne, who, of course, has been a magnificent kick over the years. Osborne has kicked 568 career goals from 283 games. In comes Aussie from 45 metres out directly in front. The kick is on its way. He's a miss. It's a point. So this to give the All-Stars the game.
Well,
the All-Stars must kick. They've gone to Brett Ellison.
Brett Ellison.
Brett Ellison, who has kicked 285 goals from 228 games with the Roos in Sydney.
Hasn't had a huge night.
96 and 99 flags.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is a massive kick for Allison.
He won the Kangaroos goal kick in 1997. If he kicks this, the All-Stars win.
Elvis Costello sang a song with the big line from it was, Allison, my aim is true. Allison's aim is not true.
He's missed. Oh, the pressure is enormous.
Better get Dermot on, hadn't we?
Tony Jones, I think it's time to call up the big guns. Who's next for Victoria?
Well, quite clearly, you've got to do something, Keka. Who you got now?
Fish.
He's called up Paul Salmon. He's called up Paul Salmon, Eddie. This is big news. Paul Salmon can't hear the instruction. He's now coming up to the mark. Paul Vanderhaar wants to take the kick. And the fish has won out here, so a fair bit of pressure here on Paul Salmon.
All right, well, let's stick with it here. Paul Salmon, who has kicked 550 goals in 309 games. He's got a
familiar routine, this one.
Yeah.
Luckily, he has to kick. He has to kick
kicks.
over Billy Brownless, not around him. Billy on the mark.
Paul Salmon, what a champion goal kicker with the Bombers. In he comes. You can see it on your screen. It's not bad. It's just missed.
Hit the post.
I think it hit the knob.
No,
it's a point. It's a point.
Gee whiz.
Oh, the Victorians.
Chris Lewis is the man, I think.
Let's go to Tony Jones with Mel Brown.
Yeah, well...
Tony?
Yeah, well, Mark Bickley's over with Mel at the moment, just getting the last-minute instructions, Ed.
All right, then. So let's go to Mark Bickley.
Yeah, Mel, you got Chris Lewis. Why have you picked Chris?
Oh, he's a pretty good player, and he's only stopped playing last Saturday.
He's had a fair night. He's in good form. Here he goes.
256 goals. This to win it for the All-Stars.
Chris Lewis, drop punt. That is straight over the goal umpire's hat. The All-Stars win.
In the most controversial of circumstances, in the golden goal, Chris Lewis from the Golden State kicks the goal to win the game for the All-Stars, and Paul Salmon.
He cost Victoria victory, Paul.
I would have given the kid a kick.
Seven-time leading goal kicker at Essendon, Paul Salmon. Couldn't put it through tonight under the most pressure-packed circumstances of his entire life.
Let's not dress it up. It is a shocking decision.
He's a choker.
we can declare that Paul is the Salmon that John West rejected. There's no doubt about it. And let's not let Richard Osborne off the hook. A bloke who wanted to kick in America has kicked himself on national television. Paul Salmon down there. We'll get an interview with Paul in a moment. Let's go to Tony Jones.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, I can tell you we've got one shattered man here at the moment. Paul, you stuffed it.
Yeah, I think I did. Look, the boys just turned their backs, so I might just shout the bar. That's all I can do.
Yeah, look, you've still got a few supporters here. All right, well done, mate. Your teammates don't want to know you, but you've been a champion of the game, mate. It's very sad to see you bow out like this.
Thanks very much, Tony, and good luck to Paul Salmon, who will continue his career on Channel 7 next year. And
there's Neil Curley.
Well, we'll take a break. We'll come back after this to wrap up what has been a magnificent EJ Whitten night. For the second year in a row, it was a draw. This year, we went to the golden goal, and this year, through the courtesy of Billy Brownless and Chris Lewis, the All-Stars have won in extra time golden goal. Final scores 6-11-47 the Victorians, 7-5-47 the All-Stars, but in extra time it's the All-Stars who claim the trophy. More run after this on Nine's Widewater Sports.